Your Excellencies, Rata Williame Katanavare and Auntie Philomena, the Honourable Prime Minister, Josle Berenge Bainimarama and Mrs Bainimarama, the Honourable Chief Justice Kamal Kumar, the Honourable Speaker of Parliament Ratu Apeli Nailatikau, the former President Major General Georgie Conroti, Honourable Ministers, Assistant Ministers, Members of Parliament, Members of the Diplomatic Corps, Heads of the Disciplined Services, Permanent Secretaries, Your Excellency Luka Danavalu, the Fijian High Commissioner to Australia, Your Excellency John Feeks, Australian High Commissioner to Fiji, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute delight for Linda and I to be here tonight, and I want to convey our deep appreciation, Your Excellency, for your hospitality during this state visit. It is wonderful to be able to travel again and to renew face-to-face contact that's so vital between partners, between friends and between families. I am, however, going to have to rethink a golden rule I have in Australia that I never compare locations in Australia. It's a big trap for a Governor General. I'm going to have to rethink that after your comments tonight. Fiji is a valued partner for Australia. Our bilateral relationship is underpinned by the Vivale Partnership signed by Prime Minister Morrison and Bainimarama in 2019. The partnership provides a framework for how we work together. It emphasises the values that Fiji and Australia share and our shared ambitions for achieving prosperity and stability in our region. We have shared goals to increase our security, economic and institutional links, to implement more opportunities to link our peoples, and to tackle important global and regional issues together. The unprecedented challenges and uncertainties we have faced since the Vivale Partnership was signed 2.5 years ago have strengthened our resolve and brought us closer together. Through difficult times, the link between our peoples have remained strong. Australia is enormously grateful for the RFMF Buller Force, which came to the aid of people in Victoria during the devastating bushfires in 2019. And again this year, from the RFMF, you sent a deployment to assist in Operation Flood Assist following the terrible flooding events in southeast Queensland and northern New South Wales. Similarly, through COVID-19 and 2 tropical cyclones, Australia responded quickly to work with Fiji to aid and rebuild, because that is what family does. We back each other, whether that's following bushfires, floods or cyclones. Australia and Fiji share an interest in a peaceful, secure and resilient Pacific, and we are cooperating closely to respond to common challenges. We are working together in the Solomon Islands to help maintain law and order. We work together to provide disaster relief in Tonga following the devastating earthquake and tsunami. Our joint responses show that members of the Pacific family are best placed to respond to shared challenges and to strengthen Pacific regional security. Our security partnership has gone from strength to strength, and it's ambitious for the years ahead. And we are seeking opportunities for our forces to work even more closely, enhancing interoperability and preparing for the future. Our economic ties continue to grow. I'm pleased that our pilot for the commercial importation of kava has commenced, and that Fijian kava is now available for purchase on Australian shelves. And your High Commissioner in Fiji knows exactly a bar in Canberra to go to. So see him if you need a tip. Just this month, we have seen hundreds more Fijian men and women travel to Australia under the Pacific Australia Labour Mobility Plan. This provides valuable opportunities for Fijians to support their families and communities back home, but similarly, they wear a welcome presence and enrich diversity in their host communities across regional and rural Australia. It goes without saying that our love of sport unites Fiji and Australia. And Australia is pleased to be supporting Fijian teams to compete in the region and on the world stage. We've seen the Fijian Drua, the men's team, and Fijiana Drua, the women's team, rugby union teams, relocate to Australia to compete in the Super Rugby Pacific and Super W competitions. Congratulations to the Fijiana Drua, who demonstrated their skills in winning the grand final last weekend. Australia will support more teams and athletes from Fiji and the Pacific in the lead up to the Olympic Games in Brisbane in 2032. By supporting elite Fijian athletes, we hope to inspire a new generation of Fijian sporting legends. Kurandranas over here. And will strengthen the bonds between our people. An important value that Australia and Fiji shares is respect. Respect for each other, for our environment, and for our joint commitments to our Blue Pacific. Australia acknowledges and respects Fiji's global leadership on climate change and advocacy in that direction. The Australian Government has set a target to achieve net zero emissions by 2050, and the Pacific's priorities play heavily into Australia's considerations. Our collective efforts at COP26 last year achieved positive outcomes for the region, and thank you, Prime Minister, for your leadership. Our Vivali partnership commits us to ensure that women are able to participate fully and freely in political, economic and social life. And we're working together to promote women's leadership and decision making, increase women's economic empowerment and seek to end violence against women. While the past 2 years have thrown up unprecedented challenges, as Vivali we have pulled together. I congratulate the Government of Fiji for leading a swift and effective response to COVID-19. I'm proud that Australia was able to step up and support your health response, and that we are now seeing Australian tourists return to Fiji and Fiji's economy on a trajectory for recovery. Our Vivali partnership continues to provide a platform for elevated cooperation, consultation, which is critical, and friendship between our two nations as we work together with a common goal of building a Pacific region that is secure, stable and prosperous. Vanaka Vakalevu. And may please join me in a toast. To the President, the Government and the people of Fiji.